What is it, Wiggles? You're unhappy? Whatever. Welcome to the Half-Ass Garage Inside Edition, where we're not outside, we're inside because we have so much rain outside right now. With the metal roof on the shop, the audio is just totally destroyed. I can't film anything out there, and we're supposed to have 5 days of rain. So I'm a little bit behind on videos because of the Dodge with the transmission issue being a nightmare for so long, and with the weather. So I found some old footage that I shot way before I had the channel, and you know, it's pretty neat. It's not car related, it's computer related, because I build computers and things and electronics and whatnot, and that's kind of what I do, and it's fun. So this is a 4-computer desk that I built out of scrap, and as far as I know, at the time that I built this and looked, there was no other one like it ever built in the world that I'm aware of. At least that wasn't on the internet. There's lots of computer desks that have 1 computer in them, or even maybe 2, but none with 4. So this one's pretty sweet. I hope you like it. I didn't really want to just pitch the footage, so I can delete it now once I edit the video, and you guys might like it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, I don't know. So I can't do car stuff right now, so you're going to get some old footage before I delete it. I hope you like it. Say bye, Wiggles. Bye. Tell them that they'll dig it. Tell them, say, oh man, that's cool. So this is the donor case. What I did was drilled out the shell. Oops, sorry about the noise. I drilled out all of the rivets that held everything together. There's some other pieces somewhere, but you get the point. But the whole idea of this is to get this out. So the motherboard tray. Cut these out. Just measure it however you want, but essentially the ATX hole pattern is the same for whichever board you put on it. Cut around the edge to remove this flange. Sorry. To remove this flange. This center spot you're going to cut out. So anything that's not flat, you want to get rid of. This one has got a whole lot of stiffening and ridging through it, so a lot of this for me is going to end up just getting cut away, simply for the fact that all I want to do is to save me the trouble, and to screw into wood, I want some reinforcement so the standoffs can have a little bit of something to bite into. You can use like a sheet of steel, you know, if you wanted to. It'd probably be a whole lot easier just to transfer everything over, but I'm just gonna go ahead and cut all of this stuff out and leave like an outside skeleton of it. Probably easier ways to do it, but this is what I've got, and I've got the tools to do this, so this is what I'm gonna do. It shouldn't take too long. One thing I forgot to mention: the reason I'm doing that motherboard tray. See how thick this is? Probably won't zoom in. It's just 16 gauge steel. Yeah, I won't zoom in. There we go. Really thin. There isn't much area here for the threads to bite into if I use regular standoffs. If I were to just drill it all out. So what these are, in here, they've like pressed it through or spun it through, and that forces the material that, rather than drilling it out and just removing it, it pushes it up and makes this ridge there. So that ridge gives you extra threads for the standoffs and stuff to bite into, so that you get a nice positive, so you can tighten it up. So if you try to use a piece of sheet metal, be aware that there's a good chance that you're not going to have enough thread engagement to get a good bite and tighten those things up without stripping them. This is kind of a test. So far, we've got some Swift-Tech reservoirs, 3D printed panels that will go here. Power buttons. There's another one wired up. Yeah, I didn't print buttons for it. I just used they're like just momentary buttons for a Raspberry Pi like Game Boy thing, right? So some Cat 5 cable. Use the LEDs that I took out of all of the old computers that the motherboard trays came out of. So I stole all the LEDs out of them. Well, there's the LEDs down there. Wired them up. Crimped all the ends onto these little 2-pin DuPont connectors, and then popped them into the little connector, black, whatever. I don't know what they're called. So yeah, just designed this thing up. It's got a cover that goes on it, screws down. They will be flush so that you can't actually bump it, and it'll go there, one on each side. One pod will control 2 computers. The other pod will control these 2 computers. 2 radiators on each side, 120, 240, 240 here. And then this is a CAD machine. Okay, this doesn't go together. But this is an old Lenovo. Alright, so it's like 3rd gen Intel i7, 16 gigs of ECC. It's a workstation. And it has a Quadro. So the 240 will go out to the Swift-Tech pump, or Swift-Tech reservoir, like that one right there. There'll be another one right here. That's the only, or I got another reservoir somewhere. But this will be on one, into a reservoir. And then I cut up all of the closed loop coolers so that I could actually just use regular tubing. All right, so it comes out of the radiator into the res, out of the res into the pump, out of the pump into the rad, and then so on, so on, so forth. Fans right there, exhausted out, vertical. Sorry, well, I guess in this case it'd be horizontal GPU mounts. So I've got, I don't know where the cables are, the riser cables. So the PCI Express extender cables, flip the cards up like that and they'll sit in there. Power supply, power supply, power supply, power supply. Obviously a little guard, like a little cable hiding thing. The fans right there should blow through, get picked up and pulled down and out. There is a channel on both sides. So a lot of the air will be forced over and then around, and then will be drawn out through the 3 fans that will be on this side, 3 fans that will be on that side. Plus, when you push the drawer in, you have a nice channel here with this opening that will draw air in, get blown across the board, and then exhaust it out again. Same type of deal. Vent hole there. It's not really cleaned up very well, but yeah, same type of situation. Hopefully nothing got broken. No guarantees, but there's my distilled water. Got some dyes over here. Which one is this one? Purple. Okay, so I got purple, blue, and pink. Yeah, so anyway, kind of a nightmare right now, but getting there. The idea behind this is that I needed more than one computer for different things, and then I needed more than 2 computers for different things. I really needed 4, and I just didn't want boxes sitting everywhere. And I have 4 monitors, so I can switch between them. So that's where this whole idea came from. So the hard drives, so you know, are gonna, like, I have mounts. You can see a pile of them over there. So the hard drives will actually like sit like this all along there, and then I was gonna cable man. All this stuff gets hidden. All the cables get hidden underneath this like cable management layer that's stood off the board. So all of the cabling will run underneath here. The only thing that should be visible on the top would be the hard drives, which will be stacked up front, and then the water loop that's going back to it. I'm kind of winging it. There's no plans for this. Really, I had to design and make like all of the mounting brackets for the video cards, tap them all out, make all the RGB stuff, individually wire all the breaks in the RGB, where it goes through the case there and then spins off. As it sits, nothing is broken. So it's like the Schrodinger's cat thing. Right now, it's both working and broken at the same time. So as long as I don't actually make progress on it, it won't like finally be broken totally. So if that's an option, right now, after all the trials and tribulations that this thing has given me, it's good to just like say, you know what, this thing right now works. Freaking works great right now. But once I power it up, who knows? Probably won't work. It will though. I'm confident in my skills. Here, my gourd. Distilled water from that jug in here. Concentrated coolant dye. Got my looped. Yeah. So I had to reduce it down from 3/8 to 1/4. Let's see what happens. One-handed. Let's see how much dye. 1, 2, 3. I think 3 will be alright. Nah, 1 more. For good measure. Ooh. If I wasn't looking through the phone, it'd be easier. Alright, whatever. Oh, and this stuff stains the carpet, by the way. I found that out. So, no power to the board. Ooh, that's fancy. That's fancy looking. Oh my God, it's fancy purple. Alright. I'm gonna sit you down so that I can fill this, because I don't trust myself to pour it with one hand holding this camera. So crappy well, not crappy, but old H55 lockdown. These are a little loose. I'm kind of worried about these, but I don't know. I've got some spring clamps on that, so I just put some old school spring clamps on it. I couldn't get spring clamps small enough, so what I did is I took some 3/8 tube and ran it over the top, and put some thread sealant around that white stuff. So I ran the 3/8 tube on top, and then that gave me a good grip on the spring clamp, and so now they're not coming off. And then those are, you know, all set. Nice reducers. Should be good for a test. The board is unplugged. No, I did plug it in, but the power supply is unplugged, so no big deal. I'm just going to run it off of a bench power, 12-volt power supply, so it won't, the board won't be powered in case it does leak. Nothing will happen. Okay, bench power to, oh damn it, this can only be used to supply data, not power. Oh well, we'll just have to try it. It's jumped, so it'll come on without any issues. So I guess we're gonna find out. Hope it doesn't bubble out. Oh my God, it's not doing nothing. There we goes. Oop, Bloop, 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 bloop. It's, oh. Let's see. Am I good? Am I good? Am I good? No, I'm not. No, I'm not good. Eh. The wood is sealed, so it don't matter. Okay, data. It's alive. So, looking key. Whoa, look at, got freaking buttloads of bubbles in there. So the bubbles are either hopefully probably from the radiator. My connections look good. Any leaks? More than likely it's from the radiator. So we'll just have to wait for a bit to see what once the air gets kind of flushed through the system. The pump is sounding kind of loud, so there's air in there still. We'll let it kick off for a second. Man, that sounds rough. Any leaks? I'll look through my phone. I see no leakage. Dry and dry. Good old Corsair. That aren't coming out. Yeah, we got some moving through. Okay, so let's give it a bit and see what happens. But so far, no leaks. We'll let it run for a minute. The pump sounded like it's starting to flush some stuff out. I still see bubbles shooting through, so the radiator is still probably flushing out anything that's trapped. So a few minutes have went by. Really nothing's happening with it. But I don't know if you can hear this. Can you hear like the gurgling? Sounds like like the pump is rattling. Weirdly, if you take it off, it totally goes away. I don't think there's anything with this bracket. Yeah, hear the tone changed? Let me just take it all off. Gone. Totally gone. Can't hear anything. So, something's rattling around in the board, I guess. Oh, there it's back. Strange. Hear it now? Huh. Maybe the little impeller in there is like just old and worn. We're off balance. I don't know. Hey, it's working though. And then if all goes well, install my fans, wire up all these fans, figure out a controller with like a potentiometer on it so I can control the fan speed. If everything works, then move on to installing the LEDs. I was telling you there's the holes for them where these, you can see them up there. See So those LED rails will attach here and then shine a beautiful light down on. But now that I'm looking at it, because these reservoirs were an afterthought, I won't be able to put my little mounts up, I don't think. Or maybe I can. It'll just shine a little bit down. Anyway, this is supposed to be UV reactive, so whatevs. Anywho, so there we go. Even though this is only for data, as it says, it's working fine for power. And moving on, that's the only one that I don't have that's RGB. So I'm sorry, RGB fans. Don't throw me out. Don't kick me out of the community. I'm trying. I'm really trying. Well, I finished my project for the most part. Quad computer desk. So all 4 of my computers in one desk now. So I don't have to have tons and tons of towers all over the place. So got my CAD machine, 3D printing, Windows 10, 2700X, 3770, and my server, which is R5. So it's been kind of a long process. It still has a little bit of a ways to go, but overall I think it's pretty cool. As far as cooling goes, they kind of had to get creative with a lot of this stuff, especially with the video cards and the liquid coolers. So I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on the pumps, so my cheapest solution was to use closed loop coolers and just modify the lines. So you're not really using the pumps to build head pressure or raise the water level a lot. I'm not trying to push it through massive dense radiators or anything. This is all just stock stuff. So that's the 240 that belongs to that pump, and that pump belongs to that 240, and the same with everything else. So you just essentially just run new lines. So that's all I did. Is I cut the existing tube, I cut the stock tube off of the regular, closed loop liquid coolers. These are just Cooler Master ML240s, Cooler Master ML120s. I got some clear, I don't know, PET tube or whatever it is from Lowe's, and cut them up. I forgot what dyes I used, but just cheap UV reactive dyes just to give it some color. Other than that, there's nothing fancy in there. It's just dyes and distilled water. So it's unfinished right now. There's supposed to be like a cable guide I'm going to 3D print for that to kind of cover up some stuff. But all of the wiring is hidden underneath these kind of wooden, like, false bottoms, just to kind of give it a little bit of difference in color, make it look a little bit neat. As far as the fans go, I 3D printed these boxes for I just kind of designed up some boxes, and I bought these 3 amp PWM fan controls, they're motor controls or fan controls, and then just mounted them up in there. So if I want to turn on that 240, there we go, and I can adjust the speed of it to whatever I want. So I can lower it down, shut it off if I want to. This one isn't hooked up yet. It's going to go to a fan in the back. This one controls these fans here, so you can see it's already on. I can shut it off. Now they stop. So that's it. So kick it on. Away they go. So they're angled so that it will bounce the air off of the top of the glass and then back down onto the motherboards, so I can cool the VRMs and give a little bit of fresh air in there. Also, I 3D printed these ducts, and there's some fans back there that will force air in and blow it directly over the top of the VRMs and chipsets. Like this one, I had to design and 3D print that chipset cooler because that chipset was getting like 225 degrees. So that's it. I've got 2 fans here on this side, which are controlled by the motherboard on this computer, on the 3770. So they're really low amperage fans, so it's not an issue with driving it right off of the chassis fan header on the board. Same over here. We've got a little intake port here that will allow it to draw air in, blow across the hard drives to cool them, and across into the motherboard, and same type of deal. It would get exhausted out through these fans. So all that, you know, pretty cool. I did make some drawers that pull out. So just store all your crap in here. I have some black vinyl, like car wrap. So what I'm going to do is just cut the vinyl to this length here and then stick it on the underside. I might do a cool design on it or something underneath, so that will essentially black this side out, or I can make it any color I want. I do have some gray and orange, different colors. So then it'll black this out so you can't see inside of the cabinets or the drawers where you're gonna store all your crap. Cool RGB remote controlled, so you can do whatever you want with it, you know. I like the red. The red's cool at night. Oh, there we go. So we'll leave it on red for a bit. The back was kind of a challenge. So the mess of wires you see is mostly for testing. There's a box, like a channel, that goes and attaches to the bottom rail here, which is the basic frame of that supports just about everything. There's a box there with like, these like little whisker things. So the cables will come off of whatever, go down inside of this box channel, run down to the end, and then come off. So right now I kind of got everything all in just a mess, but that's what will happen eventually. So I bought this little 10 gigabit cheapy switch, which will be mounted pretty much wherever I can find, maybe underneath or at the end or on top of that cable run box, and I'll be able to just run the Cat 6 into it, and then all of the other ones will get popped into it too. So that's pretty much it. The top monitor stand I built myself. I just needed one and I didn't want to buy one. So sorry about the awesome reflection with my crazy hair. I haven't had a haircut in a while. So I just kind of designed one up and built it. It's fully adjustable in and out, tilts, moves up and down. So the spine here I reinforced really well and bolted it all in underneath, and tried to hide everything as much as I could. So it's nice and rigid now. Not ultra rigid, but pretty rigid. It doesn't move. I made a terminal block, which doesn't look too bad. Has 6 amps running to it, runs the fans, the LEDs, different things. So just have like a old Comcast power brick that I scavenged from somewhere. I just designed up some quick little 3D printed little stands. So I just made those with slots on top. So if I ever need to change out a drive, I just loosen up the screws and then pull it up and drop in a new drive. Done. One of the things that I noticed about the other desks were that they just came straight down, and they were like a big, huge, sharp box, just like this. So you'd bang your shins or your knees on it a lot. So it was just essentially a box just like that. So I cut these on an angle, so now your legs just fit in there in a natural, in a natural way, and it's great. So you get a little bit of air movement from the fans, and that's pretty much it. I made a lot of mistakes, and I I would definitely do things a lot different. It would go a lot faster. This took about 3 months just tinkering in my spare time. But now I know how to build a desk like this and how not to build a desk like this. There's a lot of untapped potential for a design like this. I just kind of got sick of doing it and wanted to use it more than anything. So somebody with more skills than me, because I'm definitely not a woodworker, you could probably do some super awesome stuff with this. So there you go. What did you think about the 4PC monster desk? That was quite a project and a learning experience. It was fun. Took a long time. A lot of mistakes were made. But hopefully you liked the video and you didn't mind the departure from the car-related stuff. I just can't get out there and do anything for you right now. So we'll get back on it as soon as we can. I would love to hear what you guys think about that, if you like that type of stuff on the channel, because, you know, winter's coming and it's really cold out in the shop. So if you like seeing that type of stuff, maybe we'll try to get into some more different types of things. But I also don't want to tank you know, my subscribers on the channel and stuff. It's just starting to take off. So if no one wants to see this type of stuff, then, you know, I can't risk, you know, derailing the channel with things like that. But, you know, I'm low on content right now. So definitely let me know what you think. I don't really understand YouTube that well. I'm just doing my best. So anyway, I hope you have a great one, and I'll catch you later. Thanks a lot for watching.